Hi, this is Elsa with an idea, and its time has come, for me at least, to tell it to you, and that is that we need a gratitude to Whites Week. I can just hear the outcry. Oh no, how can you do that? Bunch of racists, blah, 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 blah. Why do I hold that we need gratitude to Whites Week? Well, I'm all for the other stand up for yourself, gay pride and black pride and women's strength and all of these, sisterhood is powerful, all of that. I'm all for every group celebrating itself. And here I'm asking for something else. I'm not only saying white pride, though I think we should have gratitude to Pride Week, maybe overlapping, gratitude from the non-whites, white pride from the whites. I am not in any way, by the way, denying anything that whites have done horrible. Any massacres, any horrors, any deliberate infection with deadly diseases, any invasion. I am not denying any of that. That I have acknowledged, and I have grown up acknowledging it. I likewise grew up knowing about 6 million murdered Jews, the horrors of Nazism. I'm thinking about something that blacks could perhaps learn from. In Israel, there is a grove of the righteous. Now, in no ways are Jews saying there was no Holocaust, the 6 million don't count. No. Everywhere you're going to get Holocaust, all that. So why pay attention to the righteous? Well, the grove of the righteous pays attention to the righteous from different nations who protected Jews to their own peril, and some of whom died doing this. The grove of the righteous acknowledges the righteousness, the goodness of people who helped Jews. Right now, one of those people is a 95-year-old peer in England. He is one of 10,000 children, Jewish children, who was saved by Quakers and other Christians, taken to England. And some of these children got dreadful homes and they were used as servants. Okay, some of them got really good homes. All of them were saved, and all the people who did this intended good for the children, intended to save them. And I'm bringing this up because now, very late in his life, he is so very grateful. Or maybe he's been grateful all his life, but now, from the wealth he has amassed, he is going to save not Jews, about 2,000 Christians who are currently in dreadful danger of being murdered with Islamic State and the massive persecution of Christians. So this is because he's been able to feel gratitude for people who saved him. His gratitude means that he is also working to save others. It is vital that we acknowledge righteousness and goodness. It is absolutely core and crucial that we are grateful to it. Hold the evildoers responsible. Remember the evil. Also remember the good. It is such an important thing, especially if you only remember the evil. It is so hard to see people from that group as good if you only know about the Holocaust, the 6 million dead, if you only know about the slave traders, and you only know about the racists and the KKK, well, you see someone white, you see an enemy, of course. But if you are brought up to acknowledge the goodness of many people, the caring of many whites towards blacks, then you see someone white and you don't know, is that a good or a bad person towards blacks? It just makes the world more as it actually is, a more complex place. And I remember, in fact, visiting Israel. The friend I went to visit was a child of Holocaust survivors. Her father had died, her mother was still alive, and I met the mother, who was warm and welcoming to me. In other words, she could recognize my humanity instead of raging against me and putting me into a clump like all of those people there. Austrians and Germans, they're all horrible. I think she benefited from being able to see me as a human being and to recognize me. So I think it's time we brought that out into the open and had gratitude to white. I know about all the wrongs done by whites, but what about Uncle Tom's Cabin, written by a white woman during the time of slavery? Written by a white woman who was an ardent abolitionist and wrote a book that ended up being so popular and that touched so many people and helped the abolitionist cause. I think, too, that in the American Civil War, a war fought for complex reasons by the North, so it wasn't only anti-slavery. Still, of the soldiers who enlisted in the North, 600,000 of them died. And at least, let's say only half or a quarter enlisted because they were against slavery. And believe me, for young men saying, oh, you're going to save the country and keep unification, it's not as glamorous for a young man as, I'm going to get rid of slavery, I'm going to be part of getting rid of slavery. What if only 100,000 of them died because they enlisted to end slavery? What if it was only 1 out of 6? That's 100,000 young men who gave their lives in their attempt to end slavery. Isn't that something to be grateful for? So, this is Elsa with an idea that we really, really could benefit from a gratitude to Whites Week. And I'll give you another reason why we need it. I've seen so much black rage recently against whites. A white cop kills a black teenager while the black teenager is robbing a store. And rage, the entire town explodes, and massive lies are put forward. On the same time, just about the same time, 2 or 3 white cops were killed in separate instances by blacks, and there was no outcry, nothing about, oh my God, look at what's happening. Recently, a young white woman was killed by an illegal alien who had been deported 5 or 6 times. So little recognition of this. And while the American president went and paid tribute to this black teenager killed by a white cop, no acknowledgement has been made by the same American president or anyone from the White House about this young white woman murdered wantonly, not stealing, nothing, by an illegal alien. It's time for a lot more truth in our lives.